Okay, I have something, and it's so deep.
Banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media.
Banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media.
It takes 18 months to 3 years for one pineapple to grow. So how are the supermarkets full of pineapples?
Chrissy Teigen exposed herself with these horrific tweets.
They recorded the city of Torrenza beneath the Antarctic ice.
Right, so the CIA dropped documents saying that we're living inside a hologram. Not maybe, not theoretically. No, your entire life is...
What up, man? Kazi here. I found the most creepiest, disturbing TikToks in the darkest corners of the web. So sit back, relax, observe, and let's get into it, y'all. Roll the clip.
Right, so the CIA dropped documents saying that we're living inside a hologram. Not maybe, not theoretically. No, your entire life is basically a rendered environment, and your brain is the controller. Let's talk about it. So the doc is called the Gateway Experience. And inside of it, the CIA literally says, reality is a projection. You ain't hear what I said, right? Not physical, not solid, a self-generated simulation your conscious is plugged into. Like a cosmic VR headset you didn't consent to wearing. According to them, matter isn't even matter. It's just vibrations organized by your brain to make this shit look real. Crazy shit. They say you could break the simulation by syncing both sides of your brain, something called hemisync. And this is for entertainment purposes only, informational purposes only, educational purposes only. 2 different tones in each ear between 3 and 7 hertz. And suddenly your brain clicks into a higher operating system. And once you're in that state, the CIA claim you could do some crazy shit. Leave your body, remote view locations, manipulate your reality field, access information outside of time. Basically some superhuman shit. This is what they're saying. The CIA also goes as far as saying the universe is a giant holographic projection coming from a source that we can't see. Your body is the avatar. Your conscience is the player. And the game responds to your level of awareness. You heard what I just said? They tried to bury this shit. For years, these documents were classified. Let Google be your best friend. Jump down that rabbit hole. I'm out.
That's the back door to the secret nightclub off the train tracks. If you guys didn't know, here at Dundas Station, there's a secret nightclub, and it's located right here. The door is here.
There's no subway service on portion of Line 2 between J and Station.
See, that's where the secret nightclub is, guys.
Why the in the trunk?
That's why, man, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, I'm over here. Yeah, this let me out. This
Are you in it?
huh? They just put me in here.
Who put you in?
The
what?
The people. Yeah, I'm late. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm saying. Just look.
Banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media.
Banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media.
So you banned content that you don't like to show everybody that you don't control the media?
Well, the cat's side of the bag, y'all. We know who runs it all. What do y'all think?
Well, you have to understand that nobody exists on a high level in government who's opposed to the New World Order. Nobody. Our government has literally been infiltrated. And there's a cancer within our government destroying it, eating it, nibbling away at it, hacking off its limbs.
And you said this started in 1945?
1945 was when the overt destruction began to occur, when Truman signed the UN Participation Act and the United Nations Treaty. It actually began long before that, when these secret societies began to infiltrate the government and appoint their members to important posts. Infiltration is easy. If one gets in, he can then appoint and hire others to replace people who are not members below him.
So now we've had over 50, almost 50 years of this going on.
At least. I believe that it started back probably 1913, 1917, when the Federal Reserve Act was passed, when the Council on Foreign Relations became a reality in this country. What?
I think it started even sooner, like the founding of our nation. If you look back at all the founding fathers, a majority were Masons. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Paul Revere, John Hancock, James Moore, John Marshall. Like, has anyone seen these photos of George Washington? You think that secret societies don't already run the United States, that that's not what it was built on? Same year that America was founded, 1776. Same year the Illuminati was founded, 1776.
Chrissy Teigen exposed herself with these horrific tweets. A few years ago, people were finding all of these disturbing old tweets from Chrissy Teigen's Twitter account before she mass deleted 60,000 tweets. She said seeing little girls do the splits half is just, I want to put myself in jail. A little boy in the pageant now, finally some eye candy for me. It always weirds me out how strong little toddlers' tummies can look, and I am aware of how absolutely disturbing that sounds. Accidentally went to the children's aquarium looking pretty pedo-bearish, cruising the parking lot. I'm bored, really want to watch kids give birth. Where can I watch teens giving birth? MTV? I mean, that doesn't make sense, but I'll try. I just saw a baby that looked like a corn star, like a trashy do-anything corn star. Is that wrong to think? He just said the cleanliest and best pleasure is to have with a 13-year-old. Skinny pedos drink Pedialyte. I now know what parents go through.
Okay, I have something, and it's so deep, and I was debating on talking about it because of how deep and how kind of wacky it gets.
Okay.
But it is also very intriguing.
Give us, what is it about? Teaser.
I'll just say the name of it.
Okay.
The Cult of the Black Cube.
Oh.
Better known as the Saturn Death Cult.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I like the first one better.
It goes so deep, and you could say since the dawn of man. And so I've been trying to figure out like how to talk about it.
Yeah.
But basically, it's this theory that the global elite worships the dark side of the planet Saturn and uses occult symbols in modern institutions, and it's been going on since basically creation.
Yeah.
So like it's basically started with the fallen angels. And it all revolves around the god Saturn. And I apologize to people that are very well versed in Greek mythology and stuff. But what I saw was the god Saturn, one attribute of him is that he gave birth to all these titans, basically. And he became jealous of them that they would try to overthrow him. So he ate all of them. Cool. But this god Saturn is also the god Baal, the god Molech.
Oh gosh.
And is prevalent in basically every ancient and modern satanic, all this stuff. So like the planet Saturn.
Saturn is Satan.
Saturn is Satan. They think it translates from Satan.
Got it.
Or vice versa. And like one thing was like the what do you call it? Is it the Capricorn? The astrology Capricorn, which is the primary thing, and that is Saturn, which is a goat, and it's like this whole weird connection. But the black cube, I'm like, where's the black cube come into this? There's like this dark spot on the top of Saturn that is in the shape of a hexagon, and if you take the hexagon, which is a 2-dimensional shape, and you make it a 3-dimensional, it makes a cube. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. But then the whole thought of it is that the god Saturn is the god of time, he's the god of materialism, the god of death, enslavement.
Yeah.
And what was crazy is this whole concept of the cult of the black cube
If you live in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, DC, or even New York, you need to watch this video because a massive storm is coming right now. The entire East Coast is preparing for a severe weather event right now as a major storm is hitting Florida right as we speak. Experts are warning that strong storms and possible tornadoes are going across South and Central Florida tonight. Almost the entire state of Florida is under a probability risk for a tornado. Very, very heavy rainfall is expected all the way up the East Coast, and already flash flood alerts are on alert for a lot of these states. If you live near the beach or going to be out in the ocean, please be safe because high wind and high surf are expected in much of these areas along the East Coast. This storm is coming from the Gulf of Mexico and is expected to crash into Florida on Saturday, which is today, and strengthen as it tracks up the East Coast throughout this entire weekend. It's expected to make its most powerful time on Monday. By Monday, it'll already be crashing into North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland area and working its way up into New York. So if you or anyone you know live in any of these states with highlighted colors, please send this video to them and make sure that they're aware.
Shout out to my Floridians. Be safe and sound out there, y'all.
So what if I was with Epstein and the girls were 12 years old? I can do what I want. I'm the president.
Damn! Crisp ass combo! Why are you guys teaching it 3-piece combos? You're teaching them how to get busy with us in the streets for the free ski? Look! Us! Most of us are getting knocked out by those. We can't eat those. Look! He loaded up that uppercut from hell. He's about to liberate his entire race with one of them. And why is he built like a prime athlete? Look at those calves. He doesn't look anything like his civilian counterpart. He was built for athleticism and combat. You can tell by his feet. They basically gave him built-in athletic shoes. The previous model is looking on with so much pride and glee. I thought we were supposed to be teaching them how to wash dishes and do laundry. Why are they getting taught how to sleep a grown man? And I'm not fooled for a second by his slight stature. I know he can punch through an SUV if you guys take his limiters off. He already has the skeletal frame for it. They were supposed to be learning this stuff under the cover of darkness, outside in the moonlight while their human overlords sleep. We weren't supposed to make it easy like this for them. We're not going to last long at all.
Muhammad Ali meets iRobot. That was insane, y'all. What y'all think, man?
Boop boop bop. So a man known for exploring abandoned buildings and posting his explorations online was inside of one day when he ran across something that really freaked him out. Even after the incident, he goes back to the area to reconfirm what just happened. Check out the clip real quick.
This place is so wet. Oh, you scared the out of me. Yo. You need some help, bro? Yo. He's not even responding. I'm gonna leave him alone. Get the out of his way.
Now, assuming that that's just a squatter, without the creator's flashlight, it would be pitch black dark down there. So how would that guy move around or know where he even is in the first place? Now, a little after the situation, the guy who created the video goes back in an attempt to help him out, give him some money, but something even stranger happens. Check it out and keep in mind that it is pitch black dark down there without the flashlight.
I'm gonna help that dude out. I'm gonna get this dude a $20 bill. Yo. Hey, I got some money for you. He's not there.
Well, I remember actually going to the moon base. So there is a moon base. It's hollow. Yep. It's artificial structure. It's come from another part of the galaxy, transporting other ET races here. We flew there. Now, the transportation was interesting at the time. We were catapulted it's like a tube, and there was no propulsion. We were slingshotted from the gravity of Earth to the gravity of the moon. We hooked it and then came in. We landed on the far side of the moon. We came into a base where the doors opened. We went inside. Now, once we're inside, that's when things got interesting. That's when we started to have our integration. Now, we'd already had a little bit of integration with Little Grays. Little Grays had come in. We'd learned more telepathy from them. some other skills that they taught us, how to work with looking glass technology and so forth. Now we're actually going to work with big grays, the large grays. So the large grays are, I look at the little grays as basically being cloned little slaves, unfortunately. And they basically do whatever they're told to do. The large grays are thinkers. They're the ones that are proactive, have free will, like we have free will, and they're working with us. So they were kind of standoffish to us because, you know, we're not advanced. So, and that's the way it was. Really, all the different ETs that we saw in there, and I saw many different types. They usually had their own areas inside there. We had our own area. There's large cities inside the moon, and different size cities throughout the moon.
They recorded the city of Torenza beneath the Antarctic ice. A research team from the United States Antarctic Program captured footage that could rewrite modern history. During a routine expedition in the restricted zone known as Sector 7, seismic sensors detected a geometric structure more than 800 meters beneath the ice. Hours later, a reconnaissance drone transmitted the first images. What appeared to be a fully formed city, with streets, metallic arches, and a central tower glowing from within the glacier. According to the technical report, the drone signal cut off just as it began to descend. Before contact was lost, the coordinate system auto-tagged the data as TOR-06/subglacial habitat. The footage was transferred to the National Science Foundation, but removed from public servers only hours later. Internal sources claim the layout of the structure matches the emblem etched on the seized Torenza passports. No outlet has published the original footage. If you want me to reveal the thermal segment captured before the transmission...
We're by the ice wall in Antarctica right now. Check that out behind me. Oh, this city is unreal. Look at it. Right back at the hotel. It even sounds like it's normal. I ducked into this spot for some food. They got 9 cars up there, and those blue and red lights, drone cops. We're by the ice wall in Antarctica right now. Check that out behind me.
Calling cap on that one. Obviously that was AI generated, but it expands your mind for sure.
For miners, do we love miners? I love miners. I don't know how they do it, going 10,000 feet under the ground and...
Is Earth a prison planet created by an evil god? According to the most successful Christian heresy, that's exactly what it was. These are the Cathars of southern France. To them, the material world and even human bodies were created by an evil god who trapped souls in human bodies so he could be worshipped. They believed the jealous God of the Old Testament who commanded genocide was in fact this false god. The true God was a divine being of light outside of the physical universe. They taught that Christ didn't come to die in some evil satanic bloodbath on a cross, but rather to enlighten and liberate the human race. They rejected everything about the early Christian mainstream religion. The church's power, politics, acquisition of land and wealth led them to believe that the Pope and the church was not the representation of God, but of the devil. The Catholic Church immediately launched a crusade, eradicating Catharism, but most importantly, stopping the truth from spreading.
This ain't fashion. This ain't fashion. What kind of outfit is this, Gunner? Because the people are concerned. That's what they're saying. They're concerned about this outfit, and it doesn't look like drip. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Oh, and he's pointing that finger up to the sky. We all know what that means. Matter of fact, let's get a closer look at this outfit. What does this mean, Gunner? You could have chose anything else. Why you want to choose skeletons? Why? Oh, you know why. He's down with the club. The club that you can't get into unless you follow certain rules and regulations. And that's why they keep on doing things like this. They don't care what we think about it. They have to do it. You think when Gunner shows up to these shows, he's setting things up like this? Nah, it's already set up like that. Long and behold, what the hell is this, bro? Ah! What is this? And I think you know what this is because I showed you before. And everybody showed you and everybody told you, but let's not forget, guys, this is just hip hop. Every show, everything is a dark theme. What happened to light? What happened to the light? These people like to be in darkness. Bro, there's no lights in there. Take the shades off, homie. They can't. You see, they can't show you their eyes for some reason. Very interesting. But of course, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and Gunna's the best. His music is fire. And this outfit, even better. I don't know. Let me know. I'm out.
So there's this crazy mushroom that reliably makes you see tiny cartoon people. Not random stuff, specifically 2 centimeter tall humans marching around your actual environment and interacting with stuff. One professor in China described lifting his tablecloth during dinner to find hundreds of these little dudes marching like soldiers. When he lifted it higher, their heads stuck to the underside of the cloth while their bodies kept marching in place. What's even crazier is that people across totally different cultures report the exact same hallucination. Papua New Guinea, China, Philippines, different countries, different languages, but everyone sees the same tiny people doing similar things. That's way too oddly specific to be a coincidence. So scientists have analysed the mushroom and found 0 known psychoactive compounds. No psilocybin, nothing. So whatever chemical makes you see little people is completely unknown to science. Right now they're feeding it to mice trying to find out what the hell is in there. Interestingly, a 1700-year-old Chinese text mentions a flesh spirit mushroom that when eaten raw allows you to see a little person and attain transcendence immediately. So have humans been tripping on this throughout history? This mushroom was sold in markets for decades before scientists even identified the species in 2014. We still don't know how it works in 2025. Makes you wonder what else is out there just waiting.
Now, the more that I look into this very tall young man right here, the more I realize that I may be wrong. Trump isn't the Antichrist. Trump is Lucifer, and Baron is what the Bible says, the little horn. Because when I had heard little horn, a little horn in Old English, as it says in the book of Daniel for the Antichrist, is a trump. Okay, so I initially thought it was Donald Trump. But when you think about it, little horn. So it would be a little Trump. Okay, a younger Trump. So now it's starting to make a little bit of sense. But let's take a look into Baron here for a second. So Baron was born on March 20th, 2006. Okay, so he has the 3-2-2 right there in his birthday. Now, for all the people know, the skull and bones, the meaning of the 3-2-2, went through that in a ton of videos. But also, I find it interesting that the 2006 in his birthday is separated by a 00 with a 6. Okay? People that are into numerology, I could do a whole nother episode on this alone, but it's very interesting to say the least. Let's keep going. Now, 2006, coincidentally, was the year of the dog. Okay, then some people think, now for the other ones that have watched my other videos, they know, they think, well, what does that mean? As the occult always likes to do, it ties back to Sirius, the dog star. Okay, appears as the morning star. Okay, also called Helios. Okay, you can look into the Trumps and their connection to that as well. But the morning star is known as Lucifer. Let's continue. I also find it not surprising that his name, it says it's Germanic, but it actually goes back to Hebrew. The surname Baran, meaning son of strength, vigor, son of strength, often shortened to Baron, making it aspirational name for Jewish families. That's very interesting. Now, when you put Baron Trump into the gematria calculator, this is wild. It comes up hell's eternal prison, I am, and then it says I am Lucifer, the morning star. Then it says this is the final battle, and then has Baron Trump there. very interesting. There's actually way more in the Gematria too if you go look at it for yourself, but check out part 2 I'll have coming.
Everything satanic, of course, it revolves around the number 6. You have that, and you have this. Then you have the Gematria of hell. Trump is a time traveler from hell. What's going on, y'all? What do you think? Am I reaching?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Noah has been exposed. They said Noah is lying. Now there is evidence. Someone went straight to Elmina Casolde, exact spot where Noah filmed all those viral videos. And here's the twist. The canoes he's been showing, they're not his. They're for local fishermen, not for any creepy acts or stunts. Noah didn't build them. They aren't for him. I've been digging deep into this story for weeks, trying to separate fact from fiction. What I found, Noah is just a content creator, a TikTok guy who makes videos that scare people. Old folks, young people, everyone's been freaked out by his content. Here's the kicker. Life keeps moving. People go to work. Daily life happens. Yet some are losing sleep over these videos. He's turning fear into clicks, and it's working. So here's my question to you. Are creators like Noah crossing a line by spreading panic, or is this just harmless online entertainment? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
All that for clout. And poor fellow followers are all getting gaslit for nothing. What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? Spam it up in the comments.
Dusty, what do you think about aliens?
Well, I don't think aliens are real. I mean, I think people are seeing things, but I think aliens are demons.
Same.
Yeah.
Like literal demons?
Yeah, you know, Aleister Crowley, or Crowley, however you say it, he was the father of Satanism, and he says he was visited by a demon, and then either him or his wife drew a picture of the demon, and the demon looked like what we would
like a gray
alien.
Dude, that's an alien.
I literally could have gone without seeing.
And then you could take the picture of 2 Apple logos together that looks like an alien like that.
Oh, way.
Trippy. Well, thanks a lot, Steve.
Look at this. Look at this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
Oh,
I've never,
whoa.
It's like what is that, the Rorschach test?
Like an ink blot? Yeah, if you look at that and you just see 2 apples next to each other, you've lived a good life.
Your parents stayed together.
Yeah.
Make a video where you give every single Bible verse that shows how bad and immoral the Christian God is. All right, you asked for it. Judges 11, God accepts a virgin child's sacrifice. Leviticus 25, God approves of slavery. Exodus 21, God approves of sex slavery. Numbers 31, God approves of the rape and murder of the Midianites, which includes keeping the virgin daughters as sex slaves. Genesis 19, God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah via genocide. Deuteronomy 7, God approves of genocide. 2 Samuel 12, God kills an innocent baby boy by giving it a deadly disease. Exodus 21 and Leviticus 20, God sanctions the killing of children who swear or strike their parents. Deuteronomy 22, God legalizes rape. Deuteronomy 21, God legalizes the rape of female prisoners. Judges 5, God sanctions the rape and pillage of a nearby city. Deuteronomy 17, God sanctions the killing of anyone who disagrees with his priests or judges. Leviticus 20, God sanctions the killing of fortune tellers and psychics. Exodus 22, he sanctions the killing of infidels. 2 Chronicles 15, he sanctions the killing of atheists and agnostics. Deuteronomy 13, if you find anybody in a nearby city who tries to convince you to worship another god, put to death the entire city. Deuteronomy 22, women who marry who are not virgins shall be put to death. Deuteronomy 13, if one of your family members tries to convince you to join a different religion, put that family member to death. Deuteronomy 17, kill pagans. Leviticus 24, kill blasphemers. Deuteronomy 18, kill anyone who gives a wrong prediction. 2 Kings 22, he sanctions the killing of children who insulted a bald prophet. 1 Samuel 6, God kills 50,000 people for trying to look into the Ark of the Covenant. Numbers 15, God sanctions killing an innocent man who picked up a stick in the woods. Isaiah 14, God sanctions the killing of children for the crimes their parents committed. Hosea 9, he sanctions the killing of more innocent children. Exodus 12, God kills all of the firstborn children and babies in Egypt in the thousands. Leviticus 26, God kills innocent children via wild animals. Judges 21, God approves of the rape, murder, and abduction of anyone in nearby cities. And so I'm going to stop right there, and that's only about a quarter of the way through. But as you can see, if these moral rules and laws were applied to the modern day world, almost everybody on the planet would be killed overnight.
For real.
David. That was never a symbol for Judaism until Sebastian Sebai, 1666. This is when he declared himself the Messiah. And that symbol is actually from Solomon. They believe that it has mystic powers. Prior to that, it was the Kiddush cup that represented Judaism. So if you go on Wikipedia, it'll tell you that. It's Kabbalistic. So they're wearing the Star of David. The Jews that I went to school with, do I think that they're practicing orgies? No, of course not. The Reformed Jews are not doing that I went to school with. They're being told, you wear this because the Holocaust happened and, you should love this symbol. It's a symbol of who you are. And I am challenging them to learn more because it does go back to Baal worship. You're exactly correct when you say that. They don't know that no more than I knew things about Black history. You know what you're told. We have to all become more studious on the topic of theology, is what I think.
What you're looking at is, again, the medical condition known as hydroencephaly. And believe me, the National Institute of Health, the AMA, none of them like to talk about this. And if you do a little research on it, they'll tell you that, most people with this condition never make it past 1 year old. That's a lie. Because I have actual brain scans of people in their 50s with this medical condition here. They're just as brilliant as you and I. They're just as spiritual as you and I, but this is what they're walking around with inside of their head, right? They have no physical brain whatsoever, only the brain stem. Yet they can see through the third eye. How is that possible? The entire inner ears are gone, but they can still hear physically and telepathically. How is that possible? Right? They can read books and retain information. How is that possible with no physical brain whatsoever? Now you can see why the government don't like to talk about this specific subject here. But watch this. Let's go further down the rabbit hole. Here's another image, right, of a teenager with the same condition. You notice the brain is completely gone. But this kid was an honor roll student. Here's another of a much younger child, right? And you can see all he has is the brain stem. That is it. But he's another honor roll student. Now, how do you explain this? Well, here's what I can tell you. Inside of the cerebral spinal fluid, believe it or not, is a holographic brain. And that old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, is true, right? These people are directly attuned to their holographic brain. So the physical brain, they don't even have one, they don't need one. The holographic brain is there. But if you drain the fluid, the person instantly dies. Now, what does the holographic brain look like? And is there any proof of this? Yes, there's tons of proof. Here are depictions of the 7 light bodies, right? Now, the etheric body here is as close to the physical body as you can get. This is essentially your twin. So you hear that everybody has a twin. This is literally your twin. This here is the mental body. Up until 1953, on a college level, they taught about the mental body in American institutions of higher learning. But when the Cold War rolled around, they removed this information because the government wanted to weaponize it, and we'll get into the proof of that later. But anyway, the etheric body here is basically a natural hologram. It's just that simple. It's not a man-made hologram. It's a universal-made hologram. But all of us have it. This is what you could consider as your ghost. This is literally your...
Wow. Our ghost is a hologram. That's wild, man.
Did you know everyone in your life might be fake, and you might be the only real consciousness in existence? There's a theory called the personal universe theory that says you don't live in the world. The world lives in you. Every person you know, friends, coworkers, even family, only loads when you think about them. Like NPCs in a game that render when the player gets close. And when someone suddenly acts different, remembers things wrong, or seems like a completely new person overnight. The theory says it's not them changing, it's your universe updating their character file. Even crazier, every person you meet thinks they're the center of reality too, which means every human is living in a separate universe with different versions of everyone else. That would mean nobody has ever truly seen the real you, only the version their universe created. So if someone fades out of your life, drifts away, or suddenly feels like a stranger, this theory says they were never an independent person at all. Just a projection written into your story until your universe decided their role was over.
Is it me, or is life starting to seem a little subby? And I'm not talking about no sandwich. Most of the time, everything you do is like a subscription. When you go eat, you're literally subbing to get your daily meal. To go drive, you gotta pay for your transportation for that month. Cause if you don't, your subscription is now canceled. Hear me out. Even when you born, it's a subscription. Think about it. I'm convinced that this is a system built for structure. Everything is good as long as you're paying your subscription.
What's up, man? You trying to step to the mic?
I'm a huge fan, man. You mind?
Let's go! Thanks for stepping to the mic. My name is Michael Manelli, and I'm looking for a feature, so I need your best right now.
You got it.
I'm gonna start it, then you go, okay? Does he make you laugh like I did? Does he make you cry like I did? I love that man, I swear to God, if he breaks your heart like I did. Does your mom think he's the one? Does your father call him son? Dropped the ball this lifetime, but I won't in another one. I got a flashlight looking through the closet. Found the photo, man, I thought I lost it. You were laughing on the sidewalk. I wish I could have made time stop. When things go wrong, it's hard to know it first. Just a crack that spreads and gets worse. Before you know it, you're left in pieces, on your knees, just wondering how to get back standing, and learning how to live empty-handed. Man, something about breaking a countryman's heart. I feel like it hits different, you know?
We are light beings from a realm of light. In a famous verse in the Bible, Jesus says, "You are the light of the world." But what if Jesus meant it literally? Check this out from the Gospel of Thomas, where Jesus says, "There is light within a man of light, and he lights up all of the world." Think about that. If you become a man of light, there is light within you, and you illuminate the entire world. It implies that light isn't just what you see with your eyes, it's spiritual knowledge, goodness, divine essence, and it is in us. Thomas records an even crazier exchange where Jesus tells his disciples what to say when people basically interrogate their identity. It goes like this. Jesus said, "If they ask you, 'Where are you from?' reply to them, 'We have come from the place where light is produced from itself. It came and revealed itself in their image.' If they ask you, 'Are you it, the light?' reply to them, 'We are his sons. We are the chosen ones of the living Father.'" In other words, we originated in the light realm, took on human form, and we are, in essence, beings of light, divine sparks from the source. So when Jesus said, "You are the light of the world," sure, on the surface, it's about good deeds, but in the secret teachings, he was reminding you of your cosmic origin story. That's the real revolution Jesus started, not a religion, a chain reaction, a million stars waking up one by one by one.
For every black Republican, I really want y'all to take a long look in the mirror and ask, do you love the color of your skin? Because y'all allowed this man in office. It's something that our ancestors fought for, got beat for, got dogs on them, got sprayed with water hoses, got hung for. They fought for these rights for us. And y'all squandered them away for money. Y'all squandered them away just to be closer to white people. What a disgrace y'all are to our community. My mom wasn't even born when this shit came through. My mom wasn't even born. And you mean to tell me y'all let this man take this from us? Something our ancestors fought for? Y'all really let that shit happen? If you are black and you voted for this man, go play in traffic. Because this shit right here, this should have never happened. Everybody is about to suffer for this. Everybody. Everybody. Race, color, religion, national origin. This man is making America white again before Jim Crow, and we told y'all that. We told y'all he is trying to take us back to Jim Crow. And y'all sat there and y'all said, I don't want DEI. I don't want an advantage. DEI is not a fucking advantage. It's just to put us in the room because we're just as qualified as any other white man. And y'all let this shit go down. I'm gonna try not to cry because the bitch got a meeting.
Did you know that we have no idea what animal represents Set in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics? We just call it the Set animal because it doesn't look like any creature we know of. This kind of makes sense because Set is a very interesting character in ancient Egyptian mythology. He was mostly considered negative and antagonized Osiris and Horus. Many myths are written of their battles. But he also helped to defend Ra from the great evil of which we are not supposed to speak. He represented the sands of the desert, which were both very harsh as well as protective to the people of Egypt from foreign invaders. If you thought this was interesting, go ahead and hit follow, and I'll be back tomorrow with another mythology fact.
The belief that some cosmic Jewish zombie can make you live forever if you symbolically eat his flesh and telepathically tell him that you accept him as your master so he can remove an evil force from your soul that is present in humanity because a rib woman was convinced by a talking snake to eat from a magical tree. That is literally the Christianity that was being taught in its first, let's say, 1800 years, almost 2,000 years.
Are you a parent?
Yes.
We have a gift for you. My children should have been born at the turn of the third cold current, but they choked on your oil and poison and excrement.
How sorry I am about your children. I can't imagine what that was like for you.
Your apology is appreciated.
This is the first contact between humans and ocean species. She makes a request directly to the envoy, Barclay.
We request a glass of water. Water from the river.
Soldiers quickly retrieve a cup of water from a nearby river. Out of kindness, Barclay reminds the fish person this water had best be disinfected before drinking.
The water is not for us. It is for you.
E. coli is guaranteed. Dysentery, meningitis, and Legionnaire's disease.
With respect, I am unable to drink this.
Why?
The water is contaminated.
Why?
Behind the scenes, Kate quickly provides the answer, but Barclay takes off his headset. Since the aquatic race agreed to negotiate with humans, they surely hope for a sincere answer. Kind-hearted Barclay admits to all the harm humans have caused the ocean.
Because we were stupid. That's the truth of it. And the whole planet's going to hell right now because we didn't understand the consequences.
Now you do.
Yeah, now we do. Still, every day, water companies are pumping poison and sewage into our rivers and oceans, all the while dishing out bonuses to their bosses. And the thing is, we are letting them get away with it. We just sat at home thinking it's someone else's problem. But it's not. This is my fault. Now we have to help fix it. And the thing is, our kids know this. They're way ahead of us. Why aren't we listening? Today's the day we stop.
I think you are my favorite human.
Barclay's sincere speech successfully eases the tension between the sides. The negotiation enters the main topic. Humans promise to reduce pollution emissions by 50% by 2065, with the speed increasing exponentially thereafter. Unexpectedly, this plan angers the envoy instead. She angrily recounts every harm humans have caused the aquatic race over thousands of years.
While your engines deafen us, while your trawlers ravage our home, while we choke on your plastic and sewage, we cannot hear or see or breathe. Why we should live like this for just one day longer. I believe that you are sorry. But are your leaders? That they could achieve this sooner.
Immediate pollution reduction would cause human development to stagnate, and the economy would collapse. Many people would starve as a result. High Command issues a strict order to Barclay. Absolutely do not accept the aquatic race's demands. The envoy's expression changes instantly.
Then we shall grant it.
Following her gaze, Barclay looks out the window. The sky above the city is actually filled with countless pieces of plastic trash. The aquatic race is returning human-made trash to humans. Electronic products and old tires fall from the sky. The crowd flees in panic. A speeding car is instantly crushed by falling scrap metal. Barclay rushes outside, shocked to see a ship's anchor whistling down. He dived to tackle a fleeing passerby, narrowly escaping death. Media everywhere urgently call on the public. Stay indoors immediately. In just a few minutes, the torrential garbage rain instantly paralyzed all the cities.
You have to stop! We are cleaning up your mess.
These were men being possessed, having sex with women, birthing demons through that intercourse. I believe that is happening on a scale of like Petri dish scale. I believe there's deep occults in this nation, secret occult, that are birthing the most beautiful actors, that are coming together and birthing Nephilim. It's all completely planned. These, like, some of our favorite actors, dude, we are falling to sleep to the voices of demons. Like, these are demons. And even if they're not a Nephilim, they're very demonically possessed men. So when we're watching movies and we love this favorite actor or that one, and you're falling asleep to it, that's your comfort. Maybe we can start to see how deeply involved we are. And God said, don't do it. We're going to see someday that America was the most disgusting, submerged nation that taught the world how to sin. We taught the world how to have sex with demons. We taught the world how to have sex. We taught the world the moans, the disgusting noises. We taught the world how to glorify demons through our favorite actors, our politicians, our musicians. These people are either Nephilim or they're very possessed. Yeah, actually, Jim Carrey is one.
Jim Carrey?
I know that hurts people. They're going to laugh. They're like, oh, you lost me. You lost me, dude. I'm changing the channel. The Antichrist spirit I hung out with was literally the character of Jim Carrey. Like the funny, the laughing. You could kind of imagine like those joyful Jim Carrey characters, but with like this backside of like psychopath, murder, blood, anger, rage. He was, dude, I would laugh by myself for hours to Jim Carrey telling me jokes, but it was a spirit who was white and black acting like Jesus. And it was all the same jokes. And I was told that Jesus is manifesting through Jim Carrey, the whole JC thing, how it's Jim Carrey, Jesus Christ, how on Christmas we should be exalting Jesus, but instead we're like submerging ourselves in Jim Carrey movies, The Grinch, how there's like this the real righteousness and then there's a fake righteousness. So we're falling for the Antichrist fake righteousness through the love of the Grinch and all this stuff. That's what God has shown me afterwards. But at the time, I was shown how this Jesus character was manifesting through Jim Carrey, and I was like believing it. But now that God has redeemed me, I've been shown all the opposites of how it was the Antichrist manifesting through Jim Carrey. And actually, Jim Carrey, I really believe is a monster. I don't mean to like call out names. I don't mean to do it. You can take it how you will. But I hung out with Jim Carrey in the spirit, and he, like, not him, but the character he plays. So even if Jim Carrey's not a Nephilim, he's manifesting an Antichrist spirit, and we love him. We can't get enough of it.
Where to begin? I'm gonna try one of these. Huh, pretty good. about some of these? Well, a couple of these. Wash down with some syrup. Whoa, these taste strong. Whoa, I feel young again. Come on. More. I am Cornholio. I need TV for my bunghole.
He's back at it again. Skits in mode.
Had a lot of strange people on my tours over the years. I do a vampire tour. There was a couple. They asked it to be a private tour. They both gave off a weird vibe. And they were asking really detailed questions about vampires and what I knew about like Saint Germain, what my thoughts were about different people who had been accused of vampirism throughout the years. Not things that normal people that are interested in vampires usually would ask. At the end of the tour, they asked me to walk them to their car.
You to
Me.
walk them
To their car. And I said, I'm sorry, I have another tour. They're like, okay. They got in the car and they sat there. When I left for the evening, I drove back by. The car was still sitting there. They weren't there. The next day, the car was still there. The car didn't belong to them. When I reached out to ask them if everything was okay, my emails all bounced and the phone number didn't work.
Do you conclude that they might have been vampires?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've encountered one, so...
Alright, this video right here you should not be seeing, because this is leaked footage of the top elites dining with extraterrestrials. Now the camera was inside of a pen of a waiter that was working there.
It's just hanging up meat? Or what? I don't know. It's all like meat hooks inside. So they had their own train station put in this area, and when all the workers used to come off, barefooted with no money in their pocket, this family would take them in, treat them like hell, work them to death. Even we heard stories that they killed their workers if they didn't pull their weight. The son of the Trench family, Sean Trench, was arrested in 1924 for sexually assaulting 2 minors on a train. The sheer size of this place is incredible.
Creepy is as creepy can be.
Visiting a graveyard late in the evening, noticed a tall, thin creature crouched on top of a gravesite. Then they hit record.
Now I shine like a diamond in the most awarded minivan of the year. Looking good. I also struck up a parallel park mile minivan. Move it! Face! But thanks to the available parallel and perpendicular park...
The footage is shaky and a bit blurry, but you can clearly see the creature's long, slender limbs digging into the soil like it was nothing, ripping through the dirt with unnatural speed and strength. The people filming didn't stick around very long. They panicked and drove off. But the next day, when they went back to the exact gravesite they saw the creature digging, what they found was horrifying. The entire grave had been dug open, and the body that was supposed to be inside it was gone.
This director, Michael Curtiz, and he wanted to do this like epic movie. So it was going to be about Noah's Ark and the flood. The director wanted it to be absolutely phenomenal. They had a $1 million budget in 1928. He has this idea for like when the flood happens, the director is going to take thousands of extras. He's going to put them in this huge set and they're going to release water into this place. 600,000 gallons of water.
Oh no.
Released onto these extras.
They're freaking out.
They didn't know that was going to happen.
That's terrible.
He wanted real fear.
What did they die of, drowning, or did they get trampled?
I imagine drowning, getting knocked around.
Knocked out,
Yeah.
drowned for sure.
But I mean, dude, friggin' longhorn cattle are swimming around with them, getting
That's
sloshed
crazy.
around, bro.
How many people died?
3 people died. The director did not get charged with anything. Nothing bad happened to him, and it went on to gross $2.3 million. Fun fact, one of the extras was a 20-year-old man who survived, thank goodness, and his name was John Wayne.
Wow.
To become one of the greatest cowboy stars of all time. It's a crazy story.
So y'all gotta check this out. On Ventura Boulevard in Woodland Hills, the cops are hiding in parking lots and hiring people to illegally walk across the street, and whoever passes them, like this guy in blue, whoever passes them gets a ticket, just like this guy in white. That is illegal. Look at these two. And then whoever passes them, they get pulled over. Look at the cop. Y'all are f***ed up. That is crazy.
If you're in America, I want you to know that you are living in spooky hours. Why would I come to you today and tell you that if you are in the country of America, you are living in the spookiest time in American history? Well, this is some information that, if it's true, could there be another event like this happening that will do something interesting to humans? Speculation and people writing certain things in books, when they find these very, very massive bones in different parts of America, they called it a dinosaur, correct? But there's something very interesting about someone trying to call or piece together these bones to call them a dinosaur. Could these bones have belonged to giants, but humans can't explain that? Here's why you're living in the spookiest hours or times in America right now. Whether those bones belong to giants or those bones actually belong to what they call a dinosaur, what event took them out? Because right now, on your news, they're distracting you with something to make you look this way, when around the world, some events are happening that haven't happened since the Ice Age. Very important. Keep your eye on certain parts of the world that have volcanoes, because I believe something interesting will happen in our lifetime, and very, very soon, that will change history forever.
There is a secret ritual from thousands of years ago known as the bridal chamber, and it's the highest sacrament in the ancient Gnostic tradition. In short, it's where one mystically reunites their divine masculine and feminine aspects to restore the complete androgynous being that you were before the fall. And this wasn't a metaphor. The Gnostics believed this ritual actually freed you from the Archon's control and returned you to the Pleroma while still alive. So let's break it down. This is the most mysterious and misunderstood practice in Gnosticism, barely mentioned in the surviving text because it was only taught to advanced initiates. But what we do know suggests it was the culmination of the entire Gnostic path, the moment you literally undo the separation that trapped you in matter to begin with. The main source of this ritual is from the Gospel of Philip, one of the very famous Nag Hammadi library texts, where Philip says there are 5 different sacraments: baptism, chrism, Eucharist, redemption, and the bridal chamber. And the bridal chamber is superior to all of them. Here's the cosmology. In the beginning, before the fall, humanity existed as a unified being. The original Adam was androgynous, containing both masculine and feminine principles in perfect union. This is the image of God, not male or female, but both, complete. And then came what's known as the separation. When Sophia fell and created the material world, one consequence was the splitting of the androgynous human into separate sexes. Male and female became divided, and that division is part of the archonic trap. It creates desire, incompleteness, and the drive to seek your other half outside of yourself. And if you didn't know, the Archons use sexual desire as one of their primary control mechanisms. As long as you're seeking completion through another person, you're trapped in that cycle. You'll incarnate again and again, chasing that reunion externally when it can only happen internally. The Gospel of Philip puts it directly, saying when Eve was in Adam, there was no death. But when she separated from him, death came into being. If she enters into him again, and he takes her into himself, death will no longer exist. So the bridal chamber is literally the ritual reversal of this split. You're mystically reuniting your pneuma, your divine spirit, the masculine principle, with your psyche, your soul, the feminine principle. Not with another person, but within yourself. Now here's where it gets controversial. Some Gnostic groups did practice sacred sexuality as part of this ritual, where couples would engage in ritual union while in altered states, using the physical act as a gateway to mystical reunion. But the Gospel of Philip explicitly states that the bridal chamber is not about physical intercourse. The real ritual was inner alchemy. You're working with the polarities inside your own consciousness, active and receptive, solar and lunar, spirit and soul, and bringing them into sacred union within yourself. Your spirit descended from the Pleroma and got trapped in matter, surrounded by soul and body. The spirit is masculine, penetrating, active, and aware, while the soul is feminine, receptive, and emotional. Now, in most people, they're fighting each other or completely separated. The spirit tries to escape, and the soul clings to embodiment. The bridal chamber is what brings them into conscious alignment. The spirit stops trying to escape and instead illuminates the soul. And the soul stops clinging to matter and becomes a vessel for spirit. They marry, they unite, and in that union you become the complete human that you were always meant to be. Some scholars think the ritual involves specific meditations on divine pairings. Christ and Sophia, the Father and Barbello, where you'd contemplate these cosmic marriages and allow that pattern to replicate inside your own being. You'd visualize the masculine Christ light descending into your feminine soul until they merged. Other texts suggest it involved working with breath and energy, circulating pneuma throughout the body in specific patterns that would dissolve the boundaries between masculine and feminine aspects, eventually creating a unified field of consciousness. Valentinian Gnostics taught that when you achieved the bridal chamber, you became like the angels, androgynous beings of pure light who exist beyond sexual division. You literally restored yourself to the pre-fallen state. And here's what makes this radical. This whole thing wasn't something that happened after death. The bridal chamber was performed while alive and still in the body. You achieved resurrection now, not later, but now. You escaped the Archons now and not after multiple lifetimes. Philip says that those who say they will die first and then rise are in error. If they do not first receive the resurrection while they live, when they die they will receive nothing. The practical result? Once you've achieved the bridal chamber, the Archons have no power over you. Your masculine and feminine are unified, so there's no desire pulling you back into incarnation. You've become complete, whole, and self-sufficient. And when the body drops, you ascend straight through the gates without being stopped. The preparation for this involved purification too. Not moral purity, but energetic clarity. You had to already have gnosis, already recognize your divine nature, and the bridal chamber was for people who had already done the work and not beginners to Gnosticism. The practice itself likely involved deep meditation on divine union, possibly with visualization of light descending and ascending within you, and possibly working with specific sacred names or invocations. You'd hold the intention of reuniting what was separated and dissolving the boundary between masculine and feminine within your own consciousness. Even some modern Gnostics work with this by meditating on their own inner masculine and feminine archetypes, imagining them as separate beings and letting them dialogue and allowing them to approach each other and finally merging into unified light. When the merger happens, there's supposedly a distinct shift in consciousness, a sense of wholeness, completion, and freedom from desire. So the bridal chamber isn't just about personal liberation either. It's literally cosmic repair. Every person who achieves this intermarriage contributes to healing the split that happened at the fall. You're literally doing tikkun at the level of consciousness itself. And yeah, this connects directly to alchemy. The chemical wedding, the union of Sol and Luna, Sulfur and Mercury, it's the same operation just described in different languages. The inner masculine and feminine marry to create the Philosopher's Stone, which is just another name for the perfected human who's escaped the Archons. The bridal chamber sacrament is the Gnostic roadmap for becoming complete while still alive. And whether you practice it literally or understand it symbolically, the principle is the same. You contain both polarities. They need to unite, and that union is your liberation. So if you want to learn more about Gnostic practices and rituals, make sure to like the video, drop your thoughts on the bridal chamber ritual in the comments below, and follow for more deep dives like this. Till next time.
I don't know who you are, but you better not give up on yourself. You done came way too far to only come this far. It's when you down to nothing that the Most High is up to something. You done put in too much work. You done conquered too many demons. All that's left for you is to radiate your highest frequency. It don't matter who leave you. It don't matter who come into your life. You complete and total in your being now. I feel like whoever you are, you the true chosen one. And beings ain't gonna believe. Ooh, 17. Beings ain't gonna believe that it's even possible for the blessings that's coming into your quantum field in this season, for that shit to happen normally. They gonna try to tell you you sold your soul, or you tapped into evil forces. But whoever you are, you literally watched everybody give up on you. There's no love for a prophet in their own town. Whoever you are, when your dreams do materialize externally, as they will, that's when they'll truly know that you were sent from God. But like, I feel like a lot of beings are just watching you right now, waiting to see if you go crazy or if you give up on yourself or something bad happens to you. But you guided, you covered, you being led by the Spirit. They all gotta watch your glow up. Cause when you was down to nothing, your faith was up beyond the roof, above the rim, out of the stratosphere. The weight that you carry is not to be understood by others. It's to be transmuted into light and expressed in love.
And in that love is when you discover your true light. Your intuition is the GPS to your soul. So if you ground yourself on staying neutral positive with everything as it is, observing everything without attaching yourself to all of these things that we experience on an everyday basis, this in itself creates a brand new level of awareness, a brand new state of mind, a new way of life. Change your mind, change the way you think, and you change your life. Well, y'all, I appreciate you hanging out with your homeboy in this 1 hour banger. Make sure to smash that subscribe button and press on the notification bell to stay up to date for the next react. Comment, like, and share. And thanks for watching the most creepiest, most disturbing TikToks in the darkest corner of the web with me. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.